All right, welcome back to Reseller Unscripted, and I sincerely apologize for our hiatus. It was a storm
It's
of
my fault.
everything. Ari had a 2-week vacation, then he was sick, then I was sick, and it just wasn't our last month. Busy season with sales, which was really good. Hopefully, you guys have really good sales as well. Thank you to those of you who have subscribed to our channel. We have some awesome subscriptions. If you guys have not checked that out, please do. We have an amazing Discord that gives you our attention 24/7. Whenever you have a question, whether that be shipping, the way you set things up, buying strategies, places to buy, Ari and I have a wealth of knowledge of different places. Subscribe to that. It'll get you a link to our Discord. You can jump in there. It's a really cool community. So make sure that you guys check that out. There is a video on our profile that describes it a little bit further, what each level gets you. So check that out. Ari, how we doing?
So good to be back, Dusty. Like after just being on the other side of the world. I thought I was dying on vacation at one point. I've never been as sick as I've ever been. And then the second I got back, I got hit with that mega flu virus that's been going around. So it's been a
Man.
slow rebuild, and then just with all the sales that have been going on, and then we opened up a brand new office in New York City. It's just everything's just crazy right now in Q4. So it's really good to be back. Apologies for not being able to stream the last, couple weeks, but we're going to get a lot better, guys. And we have a lot more super exciting things that are going to be more involvement to the community that are coming up as well, where you can actually interact within and with outside the podcast as well. Dusty, what's going on with you, brother?
Yeah, we got some cool things Ari and I have been cooking up. So we haven't been recording, but we have been strategizing ideas for 2026 for the podcast. People that we're going to bring on. Ari and I are going to travel to quite a few events together this year. So if you guys are not booked for ASD yet or Magic in Las Vegas in a couple months,
You got to go.
you should do it. Not only will it help you out sourcing, but it will help you out in networking too. It's a great opportunity to jump in to meet Ari and myself. We will actually have 4 of our team members there this time. So it's going to be really fun. We're excited, and we got a lot of content that we're hoping to record then. So we're hoping to do some in-person podcasts there and get some really cool insight on everybody that attends. So we got some cool ideas for that going into 2026. Outside of that, same deal, man. Laura and I got sick right after it was right after Black Friday, and it just did not let go. It just wouldn't stop. It was really bad for the first week, and then I felt like after that it just hung on and hung on and hung on. But we're getting there,
throat,
thankfully.
Felt like it was on fire for 3 weeks, honestly.
Yeah, thankfully M's been healthy throughout this, so I'm grateful for that. Usually I feel like it's the opposite, where your kiddo's really sick and then you just kind of catch it from there. So I'm grateful for that. Well, since we haven't talked about it since then, let's rewind to Black Friday. Let's talk about that as far as Whatnot's concerned, your sales outside of Whatnot. How did it go for you?
Honestly, I think Black Friday this year was like a lull in a sense, because there was just so much traction on Whatnot. And I really think the viewer, which is good for everybody, every single viewer was just spread across the app, versus the past couple years, it was every single shows were extremely consolidated with people. But this year it was a massive event. So it's we still did great, but it's I didn't see the same amount of sales, as I've seen in the past. And I also just noticed in a lot of other channels, I was wow, the crowds are lower, the sales look lower. And even just talking to people, what I heard was the day before Black Friday, it was actually better. Wednesday and Thursday were way better for people versus Thursday, Friday going into Saturday. I don't know. What about you?
Yeah, we talked about that a lot in the Discord. It definitely felt like the big event on Whatnot. And we talked with our rep quite a bit about this too. And I said, it's probably going to be my last Black Friday doing actually streaming on Black Friday.
100%.
It was just so spread out. And the mindset is Black Friday, bring your best items. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be awesome. And we put some of our best inventory on that day. And honestly, it was like a break even day for us. And that's only because we didn't have we had the lower commissions that day. So it was so much work and planning ahead of time, and the flash sales that they were doing. Holy, what a cluster that was. We had signed up with Whatnot to do the flash sales ahead of time, and it was such a pain. For
100%.
those of you who don't know, they plan to do kind of like Amazon does with their flash sales throughout the day, and they set it up to have one every single minute, and you were given a time that your flash sale would run, and you had no control over it. So there would be a bar on the bottom of it that our streamers would have to deal with and our mods would have to deal with the whole time, where it literally said, "This is the flash sale and it's coming up in 3 hours." And it just did not go away. It just stayed there the whole time. And it was so frustrating. We couldn't do anything about it. And then when the flash sale ran, you couldn't sell anything. So for 5 minutes, you sat there as your flash sale was running. And so if it wasn't selling, you're just standing there doing nothing. So it was really frustrating. We submitted 30 flash sales. We were approved for 5 of them, and they were throughout our day. So we lost 25 minutes of time, which doesn't seem like a lot, but on a day like Black Friday, it is a lot. 25 minutes of sales time throughout the day. And our flash sales, I think we sold 30% of our flash sales. So it
Yeah.
just was not this big like push that they had told us that it was going to be, where all of a sudden a bunch of people were going to come into your room and it was going to give you exposure to all your stuff and you got to try to keep them in there with great product. Wasn't any of those things. So that was really disappointing. The sales were pretty disappointing. But what I did learn is, if you get away from that mindset, really, really good on Thursday, really, really good on Saturday. So if you wanted to stream Wednesday, the night before Thanksgiving, or on Thanksgiving Day, you're going to do a million% better than most people that we've heard from on Black Friday. So learned a lot. And I think a lot that you guys could take from that. Even at our scale, it was a frustrating day. And that's pretty much what we heard from everybody at every scale that day, because it's just so much competition. Our notes that we kind of relayed to our rep was that it'd be better if they made it a little more restricted. From the sounds of it, they used to in the past, where you would have to apply to a certain sales spot. So there was only so many sellers in your category at that time slot each day. So they knew, Whatnot knew, they were bringing the best products to everybody during those times, but there's less competition, so the seller can win too. So it doesn't sound like they're willing to do that on Black Friday. It's just going to continue to be this 0% deal, but they are looking at doing like Premier Shop days, where only those who have Premier Shop can sell on those days or in those time slots. So it's something they're looking at, which I think will be more beneficial than saying 0% and everybody flocks to it.
100%. And I also think there was not a lot of people shopping on Black Friday. I really don't think. I think this year, like, a lot of people were not on the app on Black Friday. Like, I was
It's tough
in
because it's
Thailand and I was like,
perception too.
yeah,
When you have 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 more streamers than there were last year on Black Friday, it's going to look different. Even if there's the same amount of buyers, they're all spread between thousands more sellers now, different categories and different ways to buy. There's more recognition to the app now. So a lot of people may have done their shopping before
yep.
the Black Friday event even happened, because there's this constant like 24/7. You can go on and buy anything at any point. You know, you don't have to wait till Black Friday anymore. In the past, it was like everybody waits until Black Friday and you line up outside the stores and you wait for hours and you get the Xbox that you wanted. It's not like that anymore. And all the retail stores have gone the same route, where now it's like Black Friday month or 2 months, where they just run sales all the time and you don't have to be in the stores anymore to get those things.
And that's what Whatnot is too. Like, nobody, you don't even need to leave your house anymore to shop. Like, that's what I tell my customers every day. It's like you literally can find anything you want on Whatnot. Like, there's no need to go to TJ Maxx. There's no need to go to Marshall's, Nordstrom Rack. Like, if you're looking for it, it's most likely on Whatnot, whether it's a new season or an old season. It's like flipping through TV channels. Like, you're going to find what you're looking for. Always.
What I will say is, this is our first year having a brick and mortar store. And that was really good. So it seems like the mentality that day is definitely more focused on the brick and mortar aspect of, I'm going out to go shopping, I'm going to go do these things, or buy them in person. And our retail store was actually really good this year. And that was the first time we'd ever experienced that. We had no idea what to expect. So that was a really good day for us there. So it kind of hedged our Whatnot losses that day. So that was really good. It was a nice plus.
It's awesome. Yeah, I really wasn't
Yeah.
even on Whatnot that much, honestly, because I was in Thailand. But I was looking at snippets of what was going on during the day, and I just like looked like at some of the top sellers, like their traffics were just so down. Like for example, like Skybox Souls had this huge Black Friday event planned. Like they had like a whole entire media crew come in. They like built like a massive Skybox Souls like archway light thing, and like they were expecting to sell and sell and sell like all these shoes like every single second. And like I was watching, I'm like, wow, people aren't even buying this stuff right now. Like usually they'll sell thousands of shoes in a night, but like this big massive event with like smoke machines and fireworks and just like a whole entire production, and then boom, it's like I personally would have been like a little bit taken back. For
Yeah.
like if I'm somebody that's selling like that stuff every single night, and then I come in on the biggest event that Whatnot is putting in together, like I would just be like thrown back a little bit. I also think like a lot of these Whatnot events, like not to like talk bad about Whatnot, like I really love Whatnot. I love what Whatnot's doing, but like I think like a lot of these events, like, I really don't see that much of a benefit. I see benefits when I get push notifications, which is, we get those sparingly. But like with any of these events, even when Whatnot first started really doing events in this category, they even like flew in like influencers one time for us. We were selling a brand called Oliphant, which are like these like really fancy dresses sold at Tucker and Nuck. They brought in these two influencers that each have like 2.5 million followers. And honestly, I it you know all these events I've really never seen anything. I think the one way on Whatnot, if you're really going to be successful, is just to do what you're doing and grow organically. Like just literally follow the steps and do it the right way. Like I've seen somebody, for example, that me and Dusty met at ASD one year. Her name is Oh Hey Jay. Like she honestly like came from literally being a in your house like seller to now selling in a warehouse just by like grinding every single day. Michelle over at Life Hard and Hustle Co., one of our subscribers, has just been grinding every single day. Like it's just what you're gonna put in is what you're gonna get out. Like there's all these like events and there's all these things, but as long as you just do what you need to do every single day, like it will compound and work. That's the
Yeah, a
way
lot
I
of the
see it.
events feel like a bait and switch. They
One
try
hundred
to pull
percent.
everybody in to make Whatnot massive just to bring in new buyers, and you're kind of the patsy in the whole thing.
Yeah.
And you're much better off, like Ari said. It's a play over time. Figure all the small pieces out, which is why we're here. This is why the Discord's here. Talk about those things. What are the little pieces that we can figure out to be successful every day? Black Friday is just another day. It's just another sales day. And this is how we create strategy over time to be successful, kind of like the stock market. We invest over time, we grow over time, we don't do anything crazy, we stay consistent, work with things that work for you, know your buying base. And it seems like the days where we try to hit a home run are usually our worst days, and our days where we stay consistent and just stay who we are our best days.
One
um
hundred
that's
percent,
kind of
Dusty.
that's kind of been my theme this whole year, really.
I just try to be myself. Some days I might upset people on camera. Some days I might end up on Reddit on a day. Like I'm always trying to balance like making people happy or making people enjoy the shows. Sometimes I can't do it all, but like it's just staying consistent. Like if
Yeah,
you try and like do something that's not authentic to you, people are gonna see it.
definitely.
Everybody has their niches.
Yeah. And learning our buyers has been a big portion of our growth in the latter half of this year, for sure. And we talked about that earlier this year. Just trying things is important. Learning is important. Getting too far away from who you are and what you know your buying base to be, not so great. And we did that for a long portion of the earlier part of this year, and got back to our basics and really kind of saved our year doing that. So, yeah.
100%. Like scaling back was
Speaking,
like the best thing I've ever done.
yeah.
As you remember,
Speaking
like
of,
I'd
how has the Christmas sales been?
honestly really good. Like these inventory, it's been a whole entire different switch. We've gone from like doing like selling 58,000 units a month to like last month I sold 4,000 units total. And it's just so much more relaxing. And it's actually triple the profit as well too.
That's wild.
Because I don't need as many people packing things. The shows can be a lot more relaxed. We don't need as much space to operate out of. And honestly, my customer base is, I would consider now the luxury category. Like we've gone from converting, like my customers, I feel like I've always been into like the luxury, but like now this is like a whole nother level. Like we've gone from selling, um, I'm going to use an example, like trying to use a good example, like selling like a brand like Chaser or like Hayden or, um, I don't know, like a graphic t-shirts or just like any of those brands that like are always being cycled on Whatnot. You see the same, you see like this one brand and then you see it split up across a bunch of different channels, which is a good thing because everybody has the opportunity on Whatnot to sell it. You can sell the same thing as somebody else. It's just you got to put your own little spice and swag on it because people are going to wind up buying it from you at the end of the day because they like you. When you're selling like luxury inventory, it's really like a song and dance. Like you have to curate it, you have to be able to talk about it, you have to be able to measure it, you have to know the brands that you're talking about. So it's been really cool to see us be able to transition our customer base to this from, instead of starting things at $1, now we're starting things at $500, $600, $700. I sold a dress the other day for $2,000 because it was a $20,000 Valentino gown, and we're offering 90% off on all the designer inventory. So it's been really, really fun to be able to do that while also we're still retaining those customers for when we do want to push the high volume, the AGs, the Joe's Jeans, the Rent the Runways, the any other brands we have, you know. And I really do think, and like I don't want anybody to think that there's going to be doom and gloom in January. I really do think as long as you are consistent with what you're doing, you're bringing a good product, you're not like selling some BS, the next 6 months are going to be okay. Because last year it was a complete lull for all of us, but I really do think 2026 is going to be a good year, only also because Whatnot is now growing at a really insane rate. Like last night, I don't know if you saw, Dusty, there's this guy on eBay Live called Vukum that's selling watches, right? So Vukum does $1 million a show on eBay Live every night, just selling Rolex, AP, Patek, all that. So Whatnot is now noticed that, and they brought a guy named By Barnett, who has a very big social media presence on TikTok and Instagram, kind of like a Vukum kind of personality, like good looking dude, cool, funny, like, you know, hip. So they brought him the Whatnot last night, and that was the first ever real, just selling plain Jane watches that are, you know, anywhere from $2,000 to $20,000. With that being said, I'm also noticing brands coming on Whatnot. Like I used to sell this brand called Elon. Elon is a brand based in Miami. They sell in Nordstrom, Neiman Marcus, all of these places. Well and behold, all of a sudden now there's something called Elon's daughters. So now Elon is actually selling on Whatnot as a brand. So what I spoke about earlier this year on like on the shift of live e-commerce is that what I think is going to happen in 2026 is you are going to see a lot of brands entering the space of live sales, which is going to be really, really cool to see. But it's also going to mean that there's going to be a whole new level of competition. There's going to be a whole nother way of having to source inventory. And right now, baby, your relationships are your number one key in being successful in all this. But again, everybody can sell whatever they want on Whatnot. You know, Katie Co is selling ice cream, freeze dried ice cream right now, and making a killing on it. You have people that are selling snacks. You have people that are selling sports cards. You have people that are selling plants. You have people that are, you can honestly build Whatnot into what you want it to be. It's going to take time. It's going to take blood, sweat, and tears. You're going to have horrible days. You're going to have amazing days. Whatnot is baseball, baby. You got your singles, your doubles, and then you got your home runs, and then you got your grand slams. Okay? You're not guaranteed to hit home runs every single time. You're not so guaranteed to hit grand slams every single time. It's all about coming in and just putting a smile on your face, being nice to your chat, and putting it all into the show. Make sure you don't have a poo-poo setup. Make sure you have some nice light. Make sure you are prepared. And just be nice. If something don't sell, that's not your fault. So listen, I really think I'm excited about 2026. Dusty, I think it's going to be the best year you've ever had. I think it's going to be the best year that I've had. I think it's going to be a big year for people to expand. And I also think there's going to be a lot of people that are going to get taken off the playing field for not doing the right thing, because Whatnot as they have been just raising money left and right. They're valued at what, 12, 13, 14 billion dollars. They probably down the road want to be bought out, and Grant wants to make an exit. So there's going to be a lot of eyeballs, and people just got to do the right thing.
Yeah. So I want to circle back a little bit because there was a lot in there. But you talked about your shift, selling 48,000 units down to 4,000 units. I think when I look at that from the outside perspective, my biggest question would be, and as a viewer might be, because we've tried this too. Last year, we tried to find a little more upside items. What is the sustainability of that? You have an amazing buy right now. It's awesome. And you have the capability of selling 4,000 units and making what you need to make. What happens when that dries up? Because you're talking about finding these luxury brands that might be one in a million, we liken it on our side. So we got Ivory Ellen this year, and it's
Yeah,
not a high end brand, but it was very sought after and it was an amazing buy. I'll never get it again. I may never see it. I may never see that unit again. I could buy it wholesale or whatever, that's fine, but I may never see that in the liquidation space again. So then what does our listeners do in that situation? What is your game plan when this buy is done? Let's say it carries you through February.
yeah.
What's your plan then?
That's a really good question, and I've been thinking about that myself too. And that's why I was talking to you last night. I'm like I have around 37,000 units right now. I was just offered another 37,000 units, but this is very risky buying, because it's like if you mess this up and then it's like I'm done. It has to be done right. Can I go back to selling, you know, other amazing inventory? Yes. Do I want to go back to selling that inventory? I don't know. That's why I think what I want to do is diversify my channels in 2026. Part of me in the past was like, I just want to keep smart threads and smart threads bulk. But now I'm like thinking, I'm like, you know what? Maybe I need to diversify. That way I don't cannibalize my audience. Like, what's working really well for me is keeping clothing on smart threads, shoes on smart threads bulk, which I might rename to smart laces. I don't know. It's kind of cheesy. And then smart threads warehouse is going to be your boy, me, just pushing volume, like the real way that I've always pushed volume. So the answer to your question is like, yes. How long will this inventory last? Is there other deals like this out there? Is this a sustainable thing? I really don't know, because I've never done this before, and I've never seen anybody on Whatnot sell at this volume of this inventory. People sell designer inventory on Whatnot all the time. I just haven't seen anybody push at this volume of consistent, like, designer brands. Just That's all I've been doing the past 3 months, 2 months
The
now.
reason I
So
ask, and don't fleece me in the comments, but
no,
my
fleece
gut
Dusty.
says, yeah, do that. My gut says, and a lot of people talk about fakes on Whatnot. My gut says a lot of times the reason those enter that space is because a good seller was selling something that was really amazing and awesome. And at some point, they couldn't find it anymore. And they had to go to a source that supplied it that wasn't as trustworthy. So some fakes entered in, or they didn't know it, or they did know it and they just knew my overhead's massive already. I have all these people that are following me. I have hundreds of thousands of followers, and all these people are expecting me to be running Stanleys every single day. I got to find Stanleys some way or another. So that's my only fear when you get into that mental space and that upside and that type of return on items is it's a high too. I work in the space of sustainable inventory with very low margins and do a lot of it consistently over and over again. But my fear for a lot of these people who jump on and they take off like wildfire, what happens when they took off like wildfire because they had the right thing and then the right thing runs out? Do they fail as a business, or do they alter to something else that isn't as um, I don't trustworthy, I guess?
Yeah,
So again, just my opinion. I'm not throwing shade at anybody. I'm definitely not saying that would be something Ari would entertain, but I think it's food for thought. You got to create a space that is sustainable, and that's super, super important and something we've learned a lot. And I think for you, by implementing your bulk channel and having your normal channel where you sell your normal stuff, and then having this one on top of it covers all those bases. So if your big channel you do run out, and let's say there's not another deal in Milan or wherever, you can just scale that back and keep doing what you know works for you until you find the next deal. And that's kind of how we operate. I run my basic things every single day that I know I can get and continue to buy. And then whenever I get a deal like Ivoriella or an awesome shoe deal or whatever, I just grab that deal, and it's something that different that we can rotate into our inventory.
100%. And just you had my brain like just like while you were talking, and this is all I want to say, guys. You can sell whatever you want on Whatnot. The reason why I'm really not worried is because we have a customer base that watches Smart Threads, watches Stephanie, watches Valerie, watches Gabe, watches Ari, watches Willie. Because like we're a family channel at the end of the day. You're either gonna love us or you're gonna hate us. And my goal is with what I sell is I always want to bring variety, and no matter what buy I bring. So yes, right now we're selling. I don't even know what would be above this, like in clothing. Like I've thought about it. Like, like I think this is like a peak when it comes to like designer fashion. I don't know. I would have to be selling like Louis Vuitton bags and all of that. I think would be the next thing, but I really don't want to get into that space just because like, I know I only sell what I know. I worked for Nordstrom, like I said, for many, many years. I resonate with all of these brands. I also like, it's so weird, Dusty. Like I'm sitting in here right now and I'm looking at 1, 2, 3, 4 racks, and I know every single piece on the rack, what brand it is, just by like looking at it. Like it's kind of like a weird like thing. Like I'm like almost like a Rain Man of like fashion. I know nothing about, I know fashion. I know like handbags and accessories by name, but I wouldn't be able to go on there and be like, this is a Louis Vuitton Keepall, like blah, 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 blah. I only like to sell what I can talk to. I also think selling bags is like, you really got to get a good supplier. And the way I operate is like I do extreme due diligence when I do buys as well too. Like this Milan deal I've been working on since last year. This has been like I say 6 months, but it was more like 8 months of just going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Everybody that I kept in my close cohort was like, no, you're never going to do this. You're never going to do this. It's never going to happen. And I was like, you know what? You're probably right. It's never going to happen because it's just like, it's insanity. But then it did happen. And then it's here. And then it's like, okay, how do we process this many units? How do we ensure that everything, like this is a whole different ballgame. I am bagging everything. I'm papering everything. I'm sealing everything. We're relooking at everything before it goes in the box. This is big time money people are spending with us and entrusting my business. And I care so much about the customer that I like, that's where my thing is. It's like, if we can do this right, then we can sell anything, But like if this inventory runs out, there's other inventory that's out there. If you're a good channel on Whatnot or just, starting out, you can sell anything. People are going to come into you to see you. If there's 70 people in your show or 100 people in your show, the odds are 10% to 7% are people that are actually buying. The rest of them are just there because you make them feel good. It's like, it's community. Whatnot is community. And then it's live sales with the community aspect to it. And Dusty, I spoke to Whatnot about something yesterday, which I don't know if I can share, but it's really, really cool. But they're going to integrate something in the next couple months that's going to really make this app feel more of a community. It's going to give shoppers more ways to interact with us. I'm not going to really go into detail. I'll talk to you more about it offline. Sorry to our viewers, but like it's it's a teaser that maybe I'll be able to talk about in the next episode. But it's going to be really cool because like I do talk to Whatnot a lot with like, because I like to see ways that'll make it more interactive for the community and also make it easier on us as the seller to keep people in our rooms. And that all just has to go with interaction. Like there's so many times I go in the shows and even my shows where it's just like static. I don't think you have that problem that much, but it's like sometimes people, like you got to find a way to interact with the chat. And maybe sometimes verbally is not the best, but there's going to be ways that Whatnot is going to make it so even beyond Rewards Club, there's going to be like fun ways for the audience to really interact in the chat. And it's going to be so cool. But
awesome.
Anybody can sell anything.
Yeah. I think one of the biggest things that you hit on, kind of tying back to, inventory and procurement and
Yeah.
stuff, Whatnot is massive, and they're getting bigger, and what they have to lose is also getting bigger. And I do agree that over the next few years, and the reason I'm hitting on this is because a lot of people have messaged on our videos and asked about what about fake stuff and things like that. Whatnot is going to do a better job of weeding those people out, but bad people love good things. And I say that for you as buyers to be aware of. As we grow, as Whatnot grows, as the volume of what we sell grows, there's always been scammers and truckloads, right? There's always been that offshore company that steals money from you and whatever. The new version is selling you fake items that you don't know. You're just unaware. And that's kind of what Ari hit on, is that he has the education to know that those are real. His customers trust that he has that knowledge to know it's real. He can look at it and tell you this is a Lululemon tag from an outlet and this is a fake one. It's very obvious when you know what that is. But a lot of new buyers don't know what that is. And I think the new game is going to be people, foreign companies, whatever, creating fake versions of high demand products because they know all these Whatnot sellers are rushing on in to try to sell this stuff, and they're going to sell it to you and you're going to think you got the best deal in the world, and then all of a sudden your account's going to be gone. So fakes is a lot of different things. There are people that don't know they're selling a fake. There are people who know full well they're selling a fake, and there are people who got a fake secondhand. Look at the Cool Kick situation. I'm not going to get into the details, but it's quite possible that somebody else took that inventory off the train and then sold it to him and he wasn't aware. I'm not I'm not choosing any sides on this, but
It's
it's
a very
possible.
tricky situation.
There are many different ways that that inventory can get into somebody's hands, and a lot of times that seller may have no clue they're even doing that, or maybe they do. But you as a buyer have to be really, really careful and mindful and educate yourself. And you as a seller really, really, really got to educate yourself, because it lands on us to weed those items out, to raise red flags when that's happening. And I see it all the time on Facebook groups and things like that. But it's really important to educate yourself. It's not that tough when you look at the difference between two things. It really isn't. Laura bought a Stanley that was brand new, whatever, nice, and bought another one 2 days later. And she got both of them into the office, and it was very obvious which one
Yep.
was real and which one was fake. You went to screw the lid off of the fake one, and you could hear it was awful. And the screw points were different. The gapping on it was different. Everything was different about it. It looked like a Stanley, but if you looked at it, you would know. And if you're paying attention in a live stream, you should know. And if you're going to buy a deal and you're like, oh man, Stanley's at $3, this is amazing, it's probably too good to be true, and it's probably not inventory you should be touching. That's my soapbox.
100%. I also
Sorry,
heard
went
that there was a
crazy.
lot of no. I also heard, speaking to some of the big sellers out there, that whole entire Stanley thing that was going around was all fake. Like what happened was like months ago, somebody bought like this like Stanley truckload that was assumed to be fake, and then they held on to it until things died down, and then supposedly sold it all.
But it's
But
crazy because
yeah,
we buy a lot of return loads and we see fakes in our return loads because
mhm.
somebody makes or gets a fake pair of shoes, a Hoka's or whatever. They go and buy the real pair and then they bring it home. They put their fake pair back in the box and return it and get their money back. Now they got a real pair and their money back.
The old
That's
shoe
simple.
swap.
And
It's the old
then
shoe
the
swap.
people, yes, and the people who, Sam's Club, Costco, whatever, their employees don't know. They just see the pair of shoes and they're like, all right, yeah, this is fine. They grab the pair of the shoes, they throw it on a liquidation load, and all of a sudden it shows up to, whoever's house that's selling it, and they've got no clue. They don't know they're selling a fake pair. They just think it's another pair of Hokas that got liquidated from a big box store that everybody trusts. They're going to get more creative, and you have to educate yourself or you're going to get screwed on that.
You will
You
get
have
screwed
to
on
be
that.
really, really careful. Exactly. Yep. And so a lot of times it may not be that that person is trying to screw everybody over. They may just be naive to it. So education is super important, and it's very easy to go online and search what is a real and what is a fake Lululemon tag look like? If you're going to go sell Lululemons, you should probably educate yourself ahead of time. If you're going to go sell shoes, you should know ahead of time. You can feel the difference. You can see the difference. The materials are different. The boxing might be different, but educate yourself. That's the best way as a buyer and as a seller to protect yourself.
What do you think about all these like other podcasts that are out there right now? Like, I want to figure out a way where we can really help people.
It's the new wave we started, Ari.
I know. I just want to, but
feel
like
like-
the whole reason I did this wasn't the profit. Oh, it'd be nice to make some money to get some Diet Cokes at the end of this. But I really like my whole goal outside of Whatnot is like helping other people succeed. Honestly, like I want to figure out ways where we can really like I hate the word playbook, but like I'm just trying to figure it out because like it's really not that like it is difficult to be successful and Whatnot, but just starting it, and if you truly want to start it, like you can do it. Like ring light
Here's
phone.
the truth. Here's a truth thing for you. Ari and I started this podcast in February? March?
Yeah.
I looked at our account today. Ari and I have made $74
That's all.
from this podcast. We post every single day. I've got a full-time employee that posts content from this. Ari and I take our time to talk through this every day, to come on here every day. We have bought lots and lots of stuff to make it look nice, different audio equipment. I've done advertising money on it. We have made $74 on this podcast. So if you think that we're in this to try to make some big bucks, it's not. We genuinely care about you guys being successful in this. Yes, like Ari said, at some point it would be great to be at a point where this creates some sort of revenue for us as we give back to the community. But I can assure you, we are certainly not there. We are here out of the goodness of our heart and wanting to grow together. When Ari and I do this, literally, this is a talk we would have normally every single day. We're just recording it now and giving it to everybody else to learn from. Some of this you might be like, oh my gosh, this is just two guys ranting, and some of it is really useful. And our Discord tells us that all the time. This is really, really helpful stuff. This is how we can learn more, and that's how we grow together as a community. Sorry, Ari.
No, it's fine. And honestly, like I should be more vocal in the Discord, but guys, like if you do join the Discord, like Dusty or Keegan or myself will answer immediately. You know?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to like I know there's like so many different like Whatnot like podcasts and crash courses, but like I want to know if any of them have been really helpful for you. Honestly, I really want to know.
Comments. We're always open to feedback. Different people you want to see, different topics you want to talk about, things that are holding you up. Great, I did awesome on this product, or I did horrible on this, or stay away from this. I mean, essentially, that's what our Discord's all about. It's literally just friends hanging out. And as it grows, it's going to continue to be a bigger and bigger wealth of knowledge for everybody to come in and be like, we're sharing sources on there right now with some of our subscribers. So this is where you should go for this. They literally will
I'd be down
and say, hey, I'm looking for plus size clothing. Okay. Ari and I rack our brains and think, okay, this would be a great supplier, or hey, we get offers all the time. Let's look out for it.
Literally, I get offers all the time and I have no problem like, helping people procure inventory. Because like right now, like I don't need any more inventory. It's just like what the place that I'm in, but I'm more than happy to help others look for trusted inventory. And I don't sell anything to anybody else that I wouldn't sell myself. That's just the way I roll. But like Dusty, like we got to like figure out a way to like, I want to do something that's like slamming. Like I want to like do something that's like, I'm trying to think what we could do. Like I know like how Whatnot hosts all these like Whatnot meetups, but maybe we just host a Resellers Unscripted meetup somewhere. Me and you go somewhere, I don't know, in February or like January, February, or March, and like outside of Whatnot. Whether you're a live seller, whether you are a eBay seller, whether you anything in business. I really think what live sales is a hunting role at any company. Just like you are the CEO in that hunting role and you are running the entire life cycle of the sales, speaking in corporate terms. You are hunting.
Sounds like Ari is setting up a meetup at ASD this year.
It does sound like that, but like if like the whole thing with this is it's like you're running a full, like you are a full senior level enterprise account executive at a Fortune 500 company, but you're running a Whatnot channel because not only are you hunting, you're managing the account, you're closing the deal, you're doing it all, and you are the owner of your company. So like everybody has, like you're either a hunter or you're not a hunter, but everybody always has like questions in this. And like I feel like the questions that I get in my morning talks, it's like always the same redundant thing. How do I keep people in my shows? How do I procure inventory? How do I like I really want to help people. Like I would love that if listen, I will go live 5 days a week if I have to, because I want to. And I'd love to rate people in this audience. If you DM us in our Discord or you just DM me, you write a comment in our comments, hey, this is my username on Whatnot. I really would love a raid. I do morning talk shows every morning. I get anywhere between, 80 to 120 people in there that are all people that really want to see others win. It's not just like people that are just like, hanging out. Like these are people that'll go into your show, they'll spend money, they want to see others win. It's not like one of these like raid trains, which I think are really good. We're gonna have an episode soon with somebody that runs one of the largest raid trains on Whatnot. We're just locking down schedules, and I think some of those raid trains really do help. You just got to get into the right raid train. Okay.
See, and that's where I feel like this Discord piece is so important. I know we've talked about it a lot today,
Yeah.
but it really is. So it's essentially like Ari and I are exchanging phone numbers with you guys and saying, hey, whenever you got a question, just give me a call. Just send me a text. Anything that you got questions on, high level, low level, sourcing, whatever. Hey, I just had a big win. One of our followers on there posted about some shirts that she's running as a fundraiser. And it's so cool to celebrate with her and be like, this is so cool. Like it genuinely is. The heart behind it is amazing. The fact that you're able to sell these is amazing. This is so cool. We want to celebrate with you. We want to learn with you. We want to grow with you. And like Ari said, we're all our own CEOs. And so as we continue to add people to it, it's only going to create more knowledge and more ways to look at things and more ways to grow. But it's like a friend group just to hang out and learn. So yeah, I can't talk enough about that. But I agree, Ari, that I think that there are pieces outside of that, but I think that Discord piece is really what brings everyone together. And we actually have a tab for raid trains on there. So if there's a cool show that you got coming up, you just post it in there and say, hey guys, can you help me out? Bookmark this show, jump on in. It'll be awesome.
And I want to help. Like if somebody actually, has like a raid train coming up that they, need help with, I'm ready to, see what I can do to help you. That being said, one other thing that I wanted to just really touch base on, I know I've touched base on it a couple times. There's like sellers that sell off hype, and then there's sellers that are actually selling you a good product. Like you got to decide, what am I buying? You know, do I need this? Am I buying it off hype? Am I getting like an emotional response by just swiping? Like I see it happen so frequently now with certain sellers, and it's just like I don't want people to. It might work for somebody, and it might be really profitable for somebody, but that doesn't mean it's going to work for you. Just because you start things at $1, like it's not going to work. You might make on your first couple items a couple bucks more, and it's like, wow, I just flipped something and made a couple dollars. I'm profitable, but like over time trading, like you're gonna see, it's not gonna work unless you're selling a really good product and you're a really good showman. I also think morally, it's not the best thing to do, like ripping people off, like by selling just boxes of shit and just like it's crazy to me. But everybody's business is their business. But like, don't do that.
People wise up.
Don't start things at
It,
$1.
it, it is a short stick. It is a short candle. It will only burn for so long. And we've talked about that a million times. Like if you're going off the hype, like Ari said, it's going to fizzle out. Sure, we've seen people come and go and do a million things. Look at how many people were running those silly surprise sets. Yes, Labubus, surprise sets, mystery boxes,
All the
card
surprise sets,
sellers
people are
selling
gone.
repacks, and like all these different creative ways to take advantage of buyers. They last for 2-3 months and then they're gone. You don't have a business model. You're just taking advantage of people. That's not a business model. It's not sustainable. It's not going to grow. Those people don't actually care about what you're doing. I'm soapboxing a lot today.
As you should.
I was angstier than I thought it was, apparently.
Listen.
Okay, talking inventory, Ari. What should our followers be looking for? This is something big that we've kind of been like, I've always just kind of like bought as things have come. And now I'm starting to forecast more. What I've realized this year is seasonal is so big for our business. I've always been a month behind. What I thought was prepared this year, I learned 2 years ago. And then I thought I executed well this year. And then after looking at the numbers, it's like, man, I should have started a month earlier on everything that I did this year. And so now it's like, okay, we're 2 months from Valentine's Day. What am I doing? What am I going to do for Valentine's Day? St. Patrick's
Lingerie.
Day is coming up. Yeah. Am I buying jewelry? Am I buying stuff for around the house? Am I buying candy? Candy was so big going into Halloween and Christmas. The candy sellers are going crazy
What's the
over that
margin
kind of
on
stuff.
candy?
I have no idea, but I do know that it's going very well for those people.
Very good.
So, anyways, what do I need to be looking forward to? I have my staple pieces. I have the things that I know I'm going to run consistently. And when I don't have this wow factor thing in my warehouse, I can just fall back on that stuff. But what can I look ahead to do that I can warehouse better, move better, be ahead of? And I think that that's super important for our listeners to be thinking about too. What is your next game plan? Are you kind of just taking life as it's coming at you, or are you planning 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, a year ahead? And what does that look like? Do you need different warehousing? Do you need to change your staffing? And that's something Ari and I have been looking a ton at, and kind of where my brain has been this year of like, am I overstaffed? Am I understaffed? Is this something where I should be having seasonal employment to help out with things? And then buying in better ways where I can buy at the right time for stuff. Right now, great example of that. In 1 week, you are going to have the best opportunity at buying Christmas. If you want to be a Christmas seller next year, now's your time to buy Christmas. Don't wait until October next year to be like, oh, I should probably figure out my Christmas plans for this year. Buy it now, put it in a warehouse, forget about it, and we'll see it next year, and you'll be glad you have it. So kind of the same adage for every single portion of this year. What am I looking for the summer right now that I don't have? Where are you at on that, Art?
Honestly, Dusty, last year I bought emotionally a lot. This year I'm going to buy very strategically. Last year I was like, you know what? This is going to be such a great buy, but this is what I learned, guys, last year. Rule number one, never buy one brand, too many units of it. Anything that's more than like 1,500 to 2,000 units.
The worst.
I think even 2,000 units is a lot. I think the safety number is like anywhere from 500 to 1,000 units of one brand. Number one. Number two, skirts, jeans, bottoms, anything. Those are some of the hardest things to sell. You want to think psychologically if you're a clothing seller. People like to buy hoodies. People like to buy sweatshirts. People like to buy t-shirts. People like to buy things that are easy to wear. Pants are hard to buy. Skirts are hard to buy. Shorts are hard to buy.
To add to that, Ari, sizing.
Yes, I
When
was
you
going to go
think
to that.
about things like hoodies and sweats, it's much easier for you to be like, yeah, I'm a medium. When you think about a skirt, size 3, 4, 7, 8, whatever it is, I don't know. Is it tight? Does it have stretch in it? Those types of things. So you got to think about the way that you have to sell those items too, and how tiny your buying pool gets by having those more niche items as well, like jeans and skirts.
On top of that too, like you want to have a good diversity of the manifest or of the buy. If they're not going to give you a manifest, you got to ask, how is the sizing distributed? What are the categories? What is the seasonality of this? Shoes, if you're a shoe buyer, you really want to stay away from anything from 34 to around 36. That is like your the OF zone that I call it. Like, because if you have a bunch of the 40s, the 39s, the 38s, great. But if you have a big condensed amount of sizes 33, 30, well, 34, 35, 36, it's going to get really tough. So make sure you
Ari's
have
talking European sizing for those who don't know.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I've been in European land for so long. But like I'll track that back. Sizes 3, 4, 5, 6. Number 2. Does my item new with the tags or new without the tags? Is my item returned? Is my item flawed? Is it a light flaw, or does it look like somebody shot a fucking hole through it? You know? Like,
Yep.
that's the other thing. That all being said, like these are all questions that you can ask your suppliers, and you can also like, if you get a manifest, you can look through it. I would highly recommend staying away if you're a shoe buyer. Heels are very tough to sell. If you get a manifest with a lot of shoes, you're going to want boots, sneakers, flats, and like loafers, like sandals with like an espadrille platform, but like stay like if somebody offers you like a load of shoes and it's like Lulu shoes, which if anybody's out there buying Lulu shoes, stay away from that brand. It is going to be so tough for you to sell. You're going to make no money. It's very, very tough. I bought 20,000 units of Lulus last year, and those shoes are hard to sell. I don't know what it is, but I'm just letting you know. I see Lulu's offers out there all the time. Stay away. If I just
Too
pissed off a
saturated,
supplier,
too
I'm
low of a
sorry.
price point.
I don't really care. Heels are really tough to sell. Things like this are good to sell, right? Like a jacket. Like a jacket here is something that's good to sell. People love jackets. It's a psychological thing. Like I just bought a jacket. I can't wait to wear it. Like if you can get jackets, I think jackets are good seasonally all year long. But if you buy it at the right time, it'll be cheaper because of the weather. I just think what Dusty's touching on and like what I'm trying to piggyback off of is like it's all about seasonality, but it's also just buying the right thing. Don't buy too much or too little of something. Buy the number one thing that I will give it to our old host and not host, our old podcaster, Chris Lynn. He told me this very early in my whatnot journey. His number one piece of advice to me was high variety equals high sales. So the more of a mix of something you have and the less saturated of one brand it is, the more successful you'll be. And that really stuck with me because I went through a time where I was just like I was buying the same stuff over and over again because I was like, damn, this is such a good price point. I'm going to make so much money on it. But yeah, your first 5 days of sales are great. But then if it's like literally a Superman drop roller coaster at Six Flags, like you just trade down. And the only time I've actually really made money, Dusty, in this business, and I'm still figuring this out, is if you can buy inventory directly from a brand. What do I mean by that? Like you go directly to the source. You know, like if you're
not
buying from
everybody's going to have the capability to do that. But true, that's the goal that we're all fighting for is the ability to buy directly.
But why can't people go direct? All it is sending messages.
It's not that they can't, for sure. But there's competition in that too. You know what I mean? If you don't have a massive social following, there are some brands that aren't going to look at you.
I mean, if you send a message though,
volume, and then it's the same as buying truckloads. A lot of times when you make a deal like that, you're taking all the deal. You're not just taking the fun things. You are taking the crappy things too. And you have to find a way to sell those crappy things to be able to enjoy the profits of the amazing things.
100%. And that's talking to like a high volume buyer, but not everybody can come out and just start buying high volume. I'm talking like if you live in a major city, Los Angeles, Miami, Chicago, Boston, whatever, there's always sample sales in those cities. And I really suggest that if you see a sample sale happening in your city, sending a DM to a brand, whether it's on LinkedIn, Instagram, say, hey, this is me. My name is this. This is my business. You know, the worst thing that they can do is say no to you. It's like getting rejected. Like you got to be comfortable with rejection in this business. I just think like I'm speaking to like me. The reason why this podcast is so good is because we both are very high volume variety sellers. Like we're like a Swiss Army knife and all the different tools are different categories that we can sell. But somebody that's listening might be like, you know what? I only want to sell clothing, and that's okay. And I live in a major city, or I don't live in a major city, but if I'm near a major city, maybe it wouldn't hurt for me to reach out. I go on Google every day and I'm like saying, where's the nearest sample sale that's happening? What brands are having sales online?
I'll add that the biggest piece, and we've talked about this a lot this year, as you go into the new year and as you're looking at buying, please stop buying what everyone else is buying. It's not going to help 100%. You. Don't chase all the brands everyone else is chasing, because then you're competing with everyone else that is chasing those brands. Find a way to make it different. Find something niche. Find something local. We had talked to Rinzi. Rinzi is now bringing in local brands. No one else has access to those brands because Rinzi knows them personally.
I'm so proud of him.
To them. In this new year, we're doing the same thing. We have 2 local brands that we're working with that I'm going to sell beef jerky, popcorn.
Please send it to me. Can I buy like right now?
It's going to be so awesome. Dude, and it's local brands that you're helping local people that care, and there's heart behind it, and it makes it different. It's a different way to sell, and there's still margin there to be successful. So stop think outside the box. Stop chasing what everyone else is doing. Stop running after Labubus and Lulu and Nike palettes and all these things. They're not going to serve you well. And like we had talked about earlier, if it does, it's a one-off. It's a flash in the pan. It's not repeatable. You're going to struggle. You're going to struggle to have inventory and consistent shows, and your buyer base is just going to be there to slurp up the deals from you. And as soon as you don't have that anymore, they're going to ghost you. So find something repeatable, find something that is scalable, and find something that not everybody else has. Obviously, you're going to have competition in different ways, but find some different things. If you chase what everybody else is chasing, you all are going to race to the bottom, and it's not going to be successful for anybody.
You know what?
Yeah.
I totally agree with you on that because, like, stop chasing the free peoples. Stop chasing the. What I don't understand is the amount and volume of aloe and Lululemon new with the tags out there still to this day, because those are two brands that really do protect. And I'll be honest, like I bought 20 pairs from a seller of like the aloe socks in her stream, and I think they're all real.
I can't tell you how many fake Lulu posts that I see every day on Facebook. It's insane.
But like, there's a lot of sellers on Whatnot right now that are selling brand new with the tags, Lululemon, starting it at $1. And I ask myself, how profitable is this for them? That's just my own question.
Again, it begs the same question. Are these people getting the rug pulled out from under them? Same scenario. Lulu does not liquidate in that way. We know that. It's commonplace. So if you're getting it in that way, how are you getting it? Are you getting it from somebody that was supposed to destroy it, and then they kept it and decided to sell it, and you're totally unaware of the fact that that is an illegal product to sell that was never meant to be in somebody else's marketplace, and you're selling it illegally? Yeah. So as Whatnot gets bigger, and as all these brands start to look at all these sellers on Whatnot and what they're selling and watching you sell these things, they're going to start to file lawsuits against Whatnot, against those sellers. Yeah, it's not going to be a good thing. So chasing those brands is not going to help you. And if you don't have the education to chase those brands, you really shouldn't be doing it.
It's pretty impressive.
Ari, closing thoughts.
Guys,
we're already an hour in, which is crazy.
Please let us know what you want. Like, I want to make this better. I really want this to blow up. I want to see more people interact in the comment section, whether you hate me, whether you like me, whether you love Dusty, whether you hate Dusty, whether you need help, whether you just want to talk shit. We want, the more you interact, the better it is. It's the same thing like in Whatnot shows. Like, I just love interaction. Like, give me a reason. I want to interact, you know? I want to make this more fun. This isn't like me like selling some like, you know, crash course. Like, me and Dusty are just chopping it up and we're recording it.
And we grow together.
I spent the last year, guys, doing so much experimenting on Whatnot, doing everything you can think of. And I think I've figured out, you know, some things that are really, really good that I'd love to help people with. And, you know, I'm still learning. I'm 2 years in on this, 2.5 years in on this, you know, and Dusty, you know, is 4 years, right? Or like 4 years, but like your channel like blew up last year.
Yeah, we are on year 3.
Yeah, but you guys like in a year like went from 0 to 5 trillion.
Yeah.
But I think what we should do, Dusty, is maybe like, and if the audience wants this, like maybe we can do an episode and, you know, make it like really interactive with people. You know, maybe we can send a Zoom link out, like for one time.
That'd be cool.
The next time we'll collect money to be in, but like the first time, I'm down to do a Zoom link where we can just have an open forum with as many people as you guys want, and we can just chop it up all together. No cost, no nothing. It's like the grand exchange in RuneScape. Like,
it would be chaos, but I'm here for it.
Let's just chop it up.
Yeah, but in the meantime, join the Discord, fam.
Yeah, seriously, join the Discord.
Because Ari and I get $12 when you join the Discord. I'm saying that because it will genuinely help you. I assure you, if you pay the $12 and you jump on there and it's not helpful, it was $12. You bought yourself a coffee, it's not for you, fine. But I promise you, you're going to stay. Our subscribers that have joined so far have stayed, it is going to be a very beneficial portion of what we're doing in this podcast for you as a reseller. A great direct link to other resellers, including Ari and myself, to learn, to grow, to ask questions, to get more intentional. We can send photos on there. It's like having our phone numbers. So it makes it a lot easier for us to interact with you outside of just having comments on our videos. So join in on
100%.
that. It will definitely help you guys out. We had a great episode. That was a lot of fun. I soapbox more than I think I have all year. So I apologize if I offended anybody, but you know, you're at your own free will to watch Ari and I be ridiculous. So we appreciate you guys for tuning in, being a part of this. We will probably have a guest with Christmas and New Year's coming up. We're going to try to record on Monday the next 2 weeks. So the episodes might come out at like different dates than we're used to. But we are going to try to get some episodes in the next couple of weeks since we've been slacking. And hopefully we'll have some guests for both of those. So stay tuned for that. Again, if you guys have any comments, please leave them down below. Leave us a like, subscribe to our channel. It helps us out a lot. We really appreciate it. We'll see you guys next week.
Go out and crush it.